today's episode is like no other. And I say this openly because we are sitting next to the executive mayor of Emalahleni Local Municipality.
I want people not to see a title in me.
Yeah.
They must see the same Leah they grew up with, the same comrade Leah Nobala who have been with them in the ANC without any title, to see the same Mamkhulu that they've grown up with at the location, because I don't want that separation. Because they are taught how to sing, you're taught how to pray.
Oh, so you've got a melodic voice too? That's something not a lot of people know. You see, that love, that love of confidence.
The people of knowing knows me that this one can sing. I like jokes and I like fun. I like driving. I like driving fast cars.
Oh, you have an adrenaline of sorts. Adrenaline giant here.
I like Ford Mustang. I like Ford Mustang.
Is that?
Yeah, and
Hey man.
and I like Ford Mustang. It's all my. With the next and now with the name, the coolest kid on the block, and welcome to another episode of the RINGE podcast, episode 15. And today's episode is like no other. And I say this openly because we are sitting next to the executive mayor of Emalahleni Local Municipality, Leah Mabuza. How are you doing? How are you? Hi, Kanyo. Good afternoon, and the team.
Thank you.
Quite humble to be in this interview podcast, and of course it's new technology.
It is.
And quite excited.
It is.
Quite excited also.
So before we obviously started recording, I was just telling you that your presence is making me slightly nervous.
You shouldn't. I draw a lot of energy when I'm around with people.
Okay.
I don't know. Probably it's a natural gift.
Yeah.
And I would like to feel that people be comfortable when they are with me.
Yes.
I wouldn't want to be something else, but I would want to be myself.
Well, I mean, it's the mayor title, I'd like to believe. But we obviously, first and foremost, I'd like to say thank you from myself and the team. Thank you so much for obviously allowing us to sit into your beautiful office and give us a time of day to actually have a conversation with you, understand where you're coming from, understand the person obviously behind the mayor title and all, because of I feel you have a rather interesting short story to share, obviously with your journey and your timelines with working from job to job, your educational background as well, and where your political journey sort of started. I mean, I find it really, really amazing and inspiring, to which I believe the city of Emalahleni and the world at large would like to hear. But before we even jump into that, Prapenyu is with us. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Nice, man. Are you well?
Man.
How do you feel about today's interview, King?
Let's do it.
Yeah, right?
Let's do it. The worst that can happen is that power goes.
Yeah.
Let's do this.
It will not.
Yeah. And bless our camera guys, definitely here. Shout out to you. Thank you, man. But Ma, I like I said, I'm super fascinated by you as a whole. So my first question for the day is, who is Leah? And I believe your name is also Moriti.
Yes.
And how do you say the other one? Mahlaku. Yes. Who is this a very inspirational lady that's sitting right next to me?
At Olkasi Wakuka, they know me as Mamkhulu.
Oh, Mamkhulu.
Yes.
Okay.
It's a certain name. And of course, I'm Leah Moriti Koza.
Okay.
My mother is a Shangan. She's
Koza
by
wow.
And I've been brought up by a single parent.
Okay.
Born and bred at Wabuka High Street,
yes.
at a backyard.
Yes.
Wasbia. Quite an interesting family integration, because in that street all of the girls and boys there were just girls and boys.
Oh, for real?
It was not like you are then seated at the back at the next door, then you don't know the child from next door.
Yes,
we could sleep at the next door, and the children from next door could sleep at my backyard's mom, where my mom was staying. It was me. My growing up was just a humble growing up, growing with ordinary kids.
Okay.
A Kasi, a Pike, getting to school together. But the one factor is that we were staying at the background.
Yeah.
We were not staying in a big house.
So that's one of your childhood memories, basically.
Exactly.
And I've come to understand that you are a sibling of 4.
Yes, I have 2 brothers and 2 of my sisters, and one of my sisters, my younger sister.
Yes.
Of course, one of my brothers is Steve Twete, married with a family, and the other one is just staying here at Tasmania.
Oh, wow.
In my mom's house, my sister is remaining there. I'm staying in my own house with my hubby, Leah Martha Mabuza.
Of course. Yeah.
Yes.
Interesting.
So, sitting at that backyard, it was in 1982 when I was only doing standard 1.
Okay.
When I took a decision that one day I'm going to build a house, and for my mom.
Ah, yes. Okay, so I've come to understand that was I believe in 1998?
1982. When I
1982?
Definitely.
Oh.
I was already at school by that time.
Oh, interesting.
Already I was doing standard 1.
Interesting.
But my growing up, I was a sickling, so my mom took me to one of her niece family, which was my grandmother, into an area called Motse Denelton by then.
Okay.
That's where we grew up, me and my younger sister, because I was a sickling. Then we came and joined back my mom when I was doing standard sub B. We left Witbank when I was only 4 years and my younger sister was 2 years.
Oh, wow.
We stayed with my grandmother up until I came back when I was doing then sub B in 1981. Then after I needed I went to do standard 1.
I mean, you use grades a lot. You use subs a lot, sub B, and obviously our generation. we use grades, right? But obviously, coming from, as now we're going to speak about your schooling background, I've come to understand that you've done a lot of primary school hopping, and I say this obviously because of you went to Sibuguset, that means Amera, right?
Yeah.
You went to that primary, and then obviously you went to 2 others as well?
Initially, it was Kayale to when we were accepted in his schooling.
Okay.
But then because there was a huge number of children by that time which were admitted, then the Department of Education, then the apartheid government, opened up another primary school into that primary school. Then at Kayale they had to then be in another primary school called Isibuguset.
Okay.
Then we were then separated from the kids of Kayale
Then you went to the higher
those
primary.
from the Isibuguset. With that, from Ekayaletu, which was a junior primary school, as well as Sibugusetu, my standard 1 and standard 2, I did it in Sibugusetu while we were still in Kayaletu. Then I went to Mbonjane, which was a higher primary school,
yes.
where I did my standard 3 there. Yes, so that primary school, were just a lot of kids that wanted, eager to be educated, and with the formality of the education that was there by the time. It was quite fascinating on the basis that all of us were growing up, and the only thing that we knew was that we should go to school. And we went to school.
Yeah. And
so I went to Nkojane for a primary school till standard 5.
And I've come to understand that obviously education is a big talk, especially in
your role as mayor, right? And I understand that also it stems from, I believe after matriculating in 1991, am I correct in saying that? You then obviously did a post job of sorts, obviously landed up at PEP, but after that you were awarded an opportunity to go study by a gentleman of sorts. Tell us about that journey a bit.
You know, when I went to high school, it was then you begin to understand that, oh, by the way, I'm staying at the backyard because most of the friends that I had, they had a formal housing.
Oh, okay.
And at a primary school, I didn't even understand that there is a mom and a father, because Tina, we've never been exposed to a mother and a father relation. But what we've been exposed to is that we were a family of ourselves, my mom and our uncles.
But did that not make you feel somehow though? Especially if other kids now in school are speaking of their fathers, and you obviously raised by a single mother who's playing both roles, by the way.
But by that time, there was no such a feeling that then you don't have a father, then you are somehow. It was a normal family because you had a lot of women who were raising kids without fathers. You had those few families.
Also, it was
just a normal that you'll find 1, 2, 3, 4 families. It's only women who are raising those kids, and some in our street, particularly in Pike Street, you had such families that you'll be only families.
So it was very normal.
Yeah, it was very normal. You will have few those that have the mother and the father, which you didn't know exactly what is the role of the father.
But do you feel like in this day and age that we live in now, the dynamic has changed? Do you think now fathers are more present into their household?
They are quite important that they should be part of the household, because remember, for us, we had a community in the family.
Okay.
And recently, you have a family basic type of a community, which that family basic type of a community, it distances children from understanding that a father from next door could be your father, a mother from next door, it could be your mother, unless that woman is a friend to my mom.
Absolutely.
Then I could understand that she is also my mom.
Absolutely.
But if there is no such a relationship, it becomes a basic and an individual family component, which on us it has never. My mom on a Christmas day she would cook for every children in the street.
Oh wow.
She would buy clothes for every children in that street.
Do you think just so that now that you're on that thought, do you think this has sort of contributed towards you loving the community, or an impact of loving the community?
Indeed, I never learned to be an individual person.
An idol of your own.
No. In our family, we had mostly people that we don't know that we have lived with.
Yes.
We had our own relatives from other families that we have lived with. We have never lived on our own to say, this is my mom's house, therefore it's my space. We had every stranger in our household.
So there was no sense of entitlement of sorts?
Not at all.
Bro P, please.
Oh, I thought you forgot about it. You didn't even greet us today. Just that the team is here, stuff like that. Which is, the story is very interesting. And then also, I just want to find out, were you a girly girl in school, or were you the serious one because you're so used to being from a family that is about building, or were you just a normal child?
I was just a normal child at school. Primary school, I was just a normal child, like a child who goes to school and come back home. I was not like participating in too many things because the conservativity of my mom with us, it has just kept us to say, you go up to this limit, not up to this limit. You wouldn't find us playing into the next street or the third street. We would always play within the household in one street. So when you are in the next street, you should explain why are you in the next street.
Okay. Oh, so it was that deep.
So we were so close, very conservative to one another, and you could sense if one has disappeared to say where could he be or where could she be, because we're playing together. Instead, other children from other students would come to our student play with us, but Tina would have never gone to other students.
Wow, that's interesting.
We're just normal children because our families and our mothers wanted us closer to them.
So when you were playing with your friends, obviously in that age, in that timeline of your life, would you, if you had to sort of put yourself in a position of sorts within your peers at that time, would you say you are more of the leader? Because obviously my question now is going to ask me as to when did you then develop leadership qualities? When did you feel or see an opportunity in leading or showing a sense of leadership skills in you?
I was a very quiet child.
No.
I was not in leadership. I was not leading anybody. I was just a normal person, but in my younger age, I could learn things faster.
Oh, okay.
I could learn. I started cooking when I was only 8 years old.
So you cook?
Yes.
Or maybe you have a chef.
Yeah, like she's gonna request that cook.
Maybe you have a chef, you know, they send you a text in the
when I was
morning.
8 years old because my mom was working. And the girl that could have been a bit grown up at home. And of course being taught by my uncles how to cook.
I could be wrong, but you spoke of your mom there, and obviously her not being at home. I've come to understand, and I could be wrong, and obviously this is an opportunity to correct me if I'm wrong, that your mom wasn't just like any other mother. She did not obviously do domestic sort of vacancies. In fact, I've come to understand that she was a hustler of sort, but please do elaborate on the hustling
She was a
part.
domestic worker at some stage. But
Oh, is it?
yes, she was a domestic worker. You know, the time my mom left domestic working, it was in 1982.
Oh,
and I
okay.
think I've narrated the story for quite some time.
Okay.
When I said it was 1 November when everybody was finished, the schools are closed, and you know it's December time,
Yeah.
your mom will take you to the house where she's working, you will assist her, because by that time we're cleaning the houses, we're washing, we're doing everything.
That's how you'd spend
You
your high
see,
school
so
holidays.
yes, you spend your time with your mom, go to that domestic house where she was at, and that day when my mom arrived into that house, she could not find a key to enter into that house.
Oh.
And when she went to one of the friends that they were working in the same areas, vicinity, then she discovered that she's actually fired.
Oh, so they didn't tell her?
They didn't even tell her. They just said, no, Mrs. just decided to get her mate from Ochis, so you don't have a job anymore.
Oh, wow.
It hurt me because I was looking forward
I can
to
only
that.
imagine. I can only.
And it hurt me, and I hated the fact that my mom, she's going there to go and work, and her employment has just came to an end, and I did not understand how. And I hated to find myself in a situation where I would work in sort of a domestic environment, you see. So in 1982, anyway, my mom, as she was doing the domestic work, she would also play copy dice. In our time, there was this thing called...
That's what I wanted us to speak about, actually.
Yeah, she was playing copy dice with all these guys, old women from the location. They would come together and play this copy dice, the Chinese game, something like that. They play with mine, of course. And that game, where my mom was at most time winning, it kept us going because we were eating, and she was feeding a lot of families with that money. She was taking a lot of children to school with that money. That
And
she
buying
was
everybody clothes on Christmas
She was
too.
buying everybody's clothes on Christmas time because of that copy dice money. So she was a hustler. You know, we were young, we did not understand, but we knew that when there was no money, we know that we have to go to Emalahleni. Emalahleni is there by the Toolings, if you know Toolings. I don't know if you don't don't know if you know Tuli. There by Emalahleni, just behind the fire stand, there was an open ground there.
Okay, and then there was a white packet that would come.
Yeah, that Chinese man. Yeah.
With the
bulletproof. By then, there was no bulletproof. It was safe.
Was that the olden day lottery?
I think so. You can call it in that way. And they had a funniest way of explaining that if it is this, then it is not.
Yeah.
And then somebody have won and somebody has lost and the stuff. And after that, then the copy dice thing will start.
It's funny because I actually recall. So I have a grandmother. My grandmother stays in Orange Farm. Orange Farm is in Joburg.
Okay.
And obviously would go to visit my grandmother's obviously during school holidays. And I recall obviously going into this open field, and then there's this white Hilux bakkie with bulletproofs, and then there's this Chinese dudes obviously from the inside, and they're handing out a paper of sorts, and then there's a lady that's coming out to the whole group, and then abanye sebahamba bangekho right because of we now. It's funny. That's really, really crazy. Oh wow.
Chinese has long done business in
Right. It's very evident.
It's true. So even here at Whitwell, those things have been happening. And immediately after that, then the copy dice things will start. Everybody knocking off will come there. They do the betting and the stuff.
Yeah.
And those who wins. Those who did not win, they will borrow each other money. For us to be able to go to the Acheni is the guy who had the butcher there. Tina, we grew up eating roast beef. There was a beef meat called roast beef.
Do you know of roast beef, Prapi?
I know beef. Bull brand.
But you don't know roast beef.
I know bull brand beef.
It was a beautiful steak called the roast beef.
Okay.
So we grew up eating that, even though we're sitting at the backyard of somebody. But we were eating well. Out of that gambling that my mom was doing on daily basis.
That's why I keep saying that in my head. I'm thinking, hustler. Your mom has just been a hustler, obviously.
He has been a hustler. And along that growing up, I've learned to be a hustler because at times, as he's doing this betting of this Chinese, we have to go and collect monies of those that are betting into the area of Kwakuta the entire, and then come back and bring it to my mom. My mom will then consolidate it, and then they wait for the time when the number will be then picked up. That who have won, they will win it. Those that have lost, they would have lost it. So that's the life we grew, because we had to help my mom to collect the money around for those that want to bet. One will tell you, I have a dream, I've dreamt, and this dream means this number. All those stories, and that is me. That is how I grew up.
So during that age, sorry King, during that age, what was your dream like? I don't know, did you dream of obviously sitting in an office of the sort, or did you perhaps have a different idea of how you would have wanted your life to go by?
I wanted to be a lawyer.
That is okay.
I really wanted to be a lawyer because I developed an anger of my mom being dismissed and nobody standing for her.
Also, that dream
And
took a toll on you.
she didn't even wanted to contest it, because she probably said it's in an apartheid era, or who are you to contest a white woman who is fired?
Yeah.
So it's for you to move on and look for another job. But she decided to come then do the serious hustling. And she did the serious hustling. We grew up. I just wanted to be a lawyer. When I was in Konjanini primary school, then it's when we got to be introduced of this thing of politics. There is a shell house, there is a hot oil house, there is somebody
This
called...
is in primary school?
Yeah, in primary school. It was in 1998, 1985, 86. Hearing about these things, but they could not speak loud of them because of the type of the environment by that time.
And the time frame as well, right?
And the time frame, because police were then right to say, yeah, there is revolution coming into South Africa. Young people already it had started in 1976 and the 1986 generation. Till I was still young, because in 1986 I was almost in standard 5. No, in standard 6, but Boma 1984-85 there was that discussion that there is a revolution, there should be democracy. We did not understand, and we had it was just foreign, and there were young guys that were from high school who were already coming into the primary school to tell you, this is what is happening, this is what is going to happen, this is what is going to happen, and indeed we're learning from that. But my political school did not start there, because at primary school there were a lot of these Christian formation organization, your SEM, which were leading us. If you are not in sport, you are in the SEM.
Yeah.
So I was not even in sport, I was in the SEM. And then that's why I discovered that, okay, I can sing, because they were taught how to sing, they were taught how to pray.
Also, you got a melodic voice too? That's something not a lot of people know. You see, that love of confidence.
The people of Emalahleni knows me that this one can sing.
Really?
You see, yeah, so I was just in the choirs and the what.
Oh, wow, that's interesting.
So it was good. Then this thing propped up while I was at high school.
Yeah.
That indeed this thing of Mandela is coming. Remember now, it was born 1990, 1991. The teachers were talking about it, but seldomly so, because they didn't want to be, finding themselves into trouble with the apartheid government.
Absolutely.
Then I went to high school in Kopanang, then I studied my high schooling, and in my high schooling, then we had to establish, actually SATU had already started building teacher structures.
Okay.
And teacher structures needed to have an integration on how to communicate with children at school.
Okay.
Therefore, there was the establishment of school representatives, which is then the SRCs. Then I happened to be elected in the SRC with Pastor Glenn Makam. Pastor Glenn Makam was the chair, I was the secretary there at high school. And then in that we're then taught of the cycle that were happening at technical level, which by then Tina we had in Pondozanko, where we would go there and be given political education as to what is exactly happening in the country, the school representative, what is the meaning of representing children from the teachers and from the headmaster and all that. And this thing started, it just started.
Okay.
But then the focus was that we want to get to school, we want to be educated. But this thing kept on following me.
Yeah. Oh, that's very interesting. Before we obviously now speak about your tertiary school, I feel like that's also quite interesting, because there's a lot of chains of events that happen within that interim as well. But before we jump into the conversation, let's quickly take an ad break. Kamala Mukanya with the next, and this is Asrin. We'll be back shortly with the executive mayor of the municipality of Emalahleni. Super excited for this one, and I'm sure you guys too. Adieu.
next and now with the coolest kid. You're obviously watching the second part of one of my favorite interviews. And I say this obviously because I'm learning so much about Leah's journey into obviously her being in this beautiful office that we're sitting in right now. Obviously, Bra Penny is still here.
Yeah, man.
Blaze is still here. And our gorgeous, very respected, educated, and inspirational guest is still obviously with us today. And obviously prior to us going on an ad break, we spoke a little about your tertiary education, to which I want us to dive into now. Yes, we mentioned that you obviously matriculated in 1991 and you did a piece job of sort. So I want us to start there. Let's build up from that storyline. What was that journey like?
Actually, I wanted to work, but I wanted to go to school.
Yeah.
So for me, getting those piece jobs, it was for me probably to raise money to go to school because
for real?
I could see that my mom was unable to take me to university because I really wanted to be a lawyer. Then I got a piece job at PEP, but that piece job, it was for stock taking. So,
okay, so it was like a one day.
Yeah, it was a one day, and then now I got an opportunity to be called at least to work for a month or 2 months. And after that, when we got to be integrated with one of my uncle who has passed on, my uncle Umsomundo Takoza, who was a Pirates player.
Okay.
And then when he came back to KZN, he started some little business. At some stage, he was operating one of the bottle stores. We call it Las Vegas in Overline.
Okay, never heard of it.
Never heard of it. There was a Las Vegas in Overline.
Oh, it's no longer there.
It's no longer there.
Oh, okay. I think that's why.
It's a white elephant now.
I think that's why.
So he ran that bottle store and actually supported by Obab Masinga, who is the owner of a lunchbox.
Yes.
Yeah, he was his friend to him, so they were working together. So Bamba Singer saw a potential in me and said, no man, let's bring this young girl. Because now at least she's got a metric, she's able to calculate and understand stock taking, less taking. I started working at Lunchbox there at Linville.
For real?
Definitely. Counting stock, assisting Uba Masinga. My uncle was working there. So immediately after that, they've tried to open a bottle store at that Las Vegas in Overline. I also worked there. But then in 1992, I got an opportunity to go to school.
Yes, is this where you did business communication?
Business communication, business management and communication. And this guy gave me an opportunity. Ubaba Washona, Ubaba Utlas, he was a well-known gentleman in the city who was working in Highfield and So he was passionate about the children of the city because we were many that he took us to school.
Okay.
I also had an opportunity to be taken to school by the same gentleman. But by then, my mom had an opportunity to go to a temporal casual work at Pick and Pay. Then I enrolled at Mpondo Zankomo in 1993.
Okay.
And then I did my business management and communication.
But I heard also within that interim of you doing your business communications as well, you were doing a job of some sort at the Witbank Hospital, am I correct in saying that?
Witbank Hospital.
The pharmacy.
I was employed in 1996.
Oh, so that's all in 1996.
Yes, after, because I had an N4 business communication.
Yes.
And then in 1996, one woman gave me an opportunity to apply because they needed shelf packers at the pharmacy in Witbank Hospital.
Okay.
They needed a cleaner at pharmacy. So this woman has spoken to that pharmacist by then. Remember, by that time you had to speak well Afrikaans, or an elder had to be able to have a better relationship with a white person for you to be spoken to.
Yeah.
So this woman gave me that opportunity. Then I was taken in Witbank Hospital, and then I went to the pharmacy. I was taking medication for the wards. I was taking medication in the shelf, because there are those that comes to the pharmacy and collect medication, and also clinic. And in that I learned a lot about medication, because at the same time while you're packing, this gentleman, I just forgot his name, who was a pharmacist, was also anxious to teach you, what does this do? What does this do? Where does this type of medication
Also, he was very
goes
detailed
to?
with this
He was
training.
very detailed to tell you, this medication goes to this medical ward. This medication goes to surgical ward. This medication goes to baby room. So he was very passionate about it. And I was so overwhelmed lately when I met Pastor Graham, because her wife I was working with at the pharmacy in Witbank Hospital.
Oh, wow.
Pastor Graham, that is owning that big church that
Yes,
is
yes,
just
yes.
like that. Her wife was also a pharmacist there. And immediately after that, when I joined in Witbank Hospital in 1995 November, 1996 I was then afforded an opportunity to be employed in X-ray as a darkroom attendant.
Okay. And then how long did you work in the Witbank Hospital for?
Witbank Hospital, I've started working literally permanently in 1996. In 2003, then I went to Pete Koronov.
Okay.
Pete Koronov, I worked there from 2003 till 2007. 2007, I went back to Witbank Hospital.
Can I just ask something? In this journey, do you still have that dream then of becoming a lawyer? Because remember now, I'm figuring that you are now busy. Now you are busy packing medicine, Brufen left, right, and center. And do you still have that dream in that time that I'm gonna be a lawyer?
The dream was still there, but I think the fear of how do we then approach it, it was quite fundamental, because now the vision also has said, if you want to go to school while you are still staying at the backyard, when are you going to buy a house for your mom? On the basis that you could see that my mom could not get a house. And actually my mom did get a house. But because my mom was a purpose person, he decided to give away her own house to a family, to another family.
Wow.
That said, this one needs a house more than me. While we were staying at the backyard, and we needed to have our
So
own
which
house.
obviously you came to rescue, because I've come to understand that in 1998 you didn't bought your mama house, which I've come to understand that you were paying 800 Rand for it,
Exactly.
which was your salary at the time
It was
too.
my salary. and for the fact that we're growing old, and we're still staying at the backyard of somebody's backyard anyway. And in me, I said I would never give birth to my children at a backyard.
Okay.
And I would never have my children to go through what we went through in a backyard. Because staying in a backyard person, you get to be treated on anything that happens there.
True.
If the yard is dirty, it is you. If the toilet is not clean, it is you. So you have to undergo all these chores because you're staying at the backyard. You see? So I said, I will never have my children stay at the backyard. You see? And you want to go to school to be a lawyer, which by then it was very rare that you could study privately. You still have to go to school. And at the same time, you want to take your mom away from the backyard.
Absolutely.
So when I got a permanent job in Witbank Hospital in 1996, 1997, already the issue of equity, the Equity Act was passed, and the affirmative action came through.
Okay.
I was given an opportunity through the affirmative action to get out of X-ray, to go to patient administration, because I had already N4 as well as Metro.
Yeah.
Therefore, I qualified for a certain type of a job, which was a clerical job.
So at that time, would you say a clerical job was the it job at the time? Because I've come to understand that you've also done public administration, but obviously in that I want to understand as to now with the business management and communications, and you working at the pharmacy and being promoted within the Witbank Hospital sort of industry, or should I say department, when did you now see an opportunity to now, sit back a bit and then now go do something different, which is public administration?
The clerical job, because at Mpondo Zankomo, when I was training as an administrator, you were also doing a clerical job. Office administration.
So it was all in thing.
So when I entered Witbank Hospital, I was doing none of those things. Remember, I was packing medication. I was learning. In X-ray, I was packing X-rays, boxes. I was only writing files for those that came into the X-ray. Slightly clerical. But when I went to patient administration, I got to be exposed in the real work that I have been trained for at ATVET now, to be an administrator. How do you manage? How do you file? How do you keep record? How do you retrieve record? How do you archive those things? Then I became doing what exactly I have been studied to when I became a cleric. Remember, I'm a clerical job by then at a Department of Health. It was either you're a clerical job or you're a nurse.
Interesting.
So it was quite
the options were very, very limited.
Yeah, it was quite the job. So for me, because I have been exposed to issues of politics, I didn't want to be a nurse because I didn't want to subscribe myself under a matron. Because you could see the treatment of matrons towards nurses. And already I am an activist. I joined Witbank Hospital being an activist. I arrive at Witbank Hospital, I am elected as a shop steward. So when I was even recruited to be a nurse, I said, no, I don't want to be a nurse. Because now I would have limitations of my right and wanting to fight for other people's rights.
Interesting. Brapi, please talk to us.
No, I mean, it's very interesting growth. I mean, like you see that there's growth, that your story is very inspirational. And I'm sure there's a lot of young girls now who are wanting to be in your position and speak and have these titles. I mean, like your titles are long. I'm busy fact checking here. There's honorable as well. You know, there's honorable.
Well,
there's honorable, there's councillor, there's executive, and there's Mrs.
How do you say it all? Like,
which is your favorite one?
I love all of them.
Okay.
I love all of them.
So do you prefer them saying them all at once, or just pick one favorite?
For the fact that
just like me,
for the fact that I'm a servant and I'm a public servant, you know, for you to be accommodative, it's right just to say Mamle.
Okay.
Yeah, for me it's because I want to be accommodative for those that are not Mrs.
Okay.
You see, because at times you want to put a Mrs. status and want to undermine other women,
that's true.
which you will not have an opportunity to learn from those.
That's
you see,
true.
So Mamle for me, it's still everything. Of course, at work we've got protocols. I become an executive. I become an honorable member because I'm the executive in this council. You see what I mean? But at my community, I'm okay. And others, they still call me Nobala.
From the time of Nobala.
From the time of being a regional secretary of the African National Congress. So they are still, and they say, sorry, executive, no, don't worry, I'm okay. I'm comfortable even if you're calling me Nobala because I want to be there. I want to be grounded there. Don't want to be at the level of an executive so that you are untouchable.
Absolutely.
People, they are even scared of saying something that you might need, something that you might want to help, but but because of being an executive, you are untouchable.
You mentioned you are part of the African National Congress, right? To which obviously is going to ask me now, with your political journey, where did that start? Obviously, for you to now sit here and you are referred to as honorable, as executive, when did that entire journey, where does it stem from?
When I was promoted to be a labor relations officer. Actually, when I was appointed as a labor relations officer, I was following my dream to actually take that route of being a lawyer. But now it was going to be a labor law, a labor lawyer, on the basis that already I was in the fraternity of a union, and the union activities, I'm representing employees at employers' place. So I was appointed as a labor relations officer, and then in 2003 there was a campaign from the South African Communist Party that was saying swell the ranks.
Okay.
The swelling of the ranks was that comrades who are members of the party, which I was the member of the party, let's go to the ANC so that we influence policies of the ANC. It was then I joined the ANC. I was still in my youth, but I did not participate in the youth structures because I was more on labor politics, which is your work politics, your labor issues.
Yes.
I was a shop steward, I was a branch chairperson, I was a secretary, I was just a worker representative by that time.
Oh wow.
And you said that you want, I mean, one of the things that you're saying is that you want to be relatable. You don't want people to feel undermined because of your title and stuff. But now being in that space, being with all these titles, what has been the challenges that you faced? Also considering that you're a black woman who comes from a location. What has been the challenges then in being relatable but still being able to execute your duties?
Is that people begin to have boundaries to say, he's now an honorable. And if you can check my Facebook, all the time I try to greet and hug people, because I want people not to see a title in me. They must see the same Leah they've grown up with, the same comrade Leah Nobala who have been with them in the ANC without any title, to see the same Mamholo that they've grown up with at the location, because I don't want that separation. You know, at times you have these people who are saying, wait a bit. At times I feel pain because I really want to have a conversation. Right, are you okay? And I'm still yearning for that. Hence I'm saying, for me, challenge yalama protocol barriers. Our separator from our ground,
absolutely,
our people, and that is why I said, when elected to be the executive mayor, I will not leave my location. I will not decide to go and stay elsewhere than the Kasi and Kulelegilo, because I understand and I understand that people, they will knock at your door at evening, in the morning, not because they like knocking. It's because there is a need, and a need that I must respond to it immediately, rather than Bazong Linda like office in Benzama appointment. There are many trying to find me here. They don't find me, but on my phone they find me, and I respond immediately to say, okay, I understand. Let me deal with it in this way. And of course, response come back. Thank you. You have assisted me. You see, so that is where I want to be. That is where I want to be, just on the ground.
With you being, obviously, like you did mention now, you enjoy being with your people. Let me put it that way. And with that, what's probably one of the first things that you identified to which you would like to make a difference in within the society, of course?
We have many socio-economic challenges.
Okay.
Not in the city of Emalahleni only, but in the entire country.
Okay.
It worries me to see people sleeping without food. You don't know. My phone, I think, has got more than 3,000 contact And majority of those contacts says, ma'am, if I 200, I want to buy a book. You see. At times, ngiba ne fear yokuthi am I going to be able to arrive at all these people who are requesting? You see. And kungenza ngicabange very deep to say, what is it that we can do to take people out of poverty? What is it that we can do to keep our people economically active?
Yes.
That is why I would not have a normal vision for the city, which if you're an ordinary person, you'll think this one is crazy. But I think it is doable. We must create a conducive environment that says people must come and say, this is what we want to do.
Okay.
Can we get people to do this with us? Then you know that out of the 3,000, if you have taken 20, we are left with 2.8. Then you continue gradually. But the reality is that there are a lot of challenges into the city of Emalahleni with a lot of potential. When I've been requested to come here, they said this city is dead, this city can never be resuscitated.
Okay.
And I prayed hard and I said, God, help me to see different from what people are saying.
Yes.
And
because also the people are furious as well.
Exactly.
Out of frustration, I'd like to say.
Exactly.
Out of hence you mentioning the whole poverty, because that's where the authenticity of poverty actually comes from. It's with the fact that we know we don't have food, but what can we do? To which now people will then retaliate, or some will then obviously now go into crime, or some may end up homeless, and so it's just,
and all those things. And you need to think deep to say, where do I go? Where do I start? What language must I talk to our people so that I get a buy-in on the vision that I want to see in the city of Emalahleni? We've been a city that is billion, it's worth billions. I'm not saying this city is worth million. I'm saying Emalahleni is worth billions. Billions that must be able to revive the economy of this city. For the fact that everybody thinks that mining houses is one of the sectors that must resuscitate job opportunities into this area. I see manufacturing in the city.
Okay.
I see industrialization in the city.
Okay.
I see tourism in this city. I see agriculture in this city. I see social cohesion through sports and all sporting code that must be alive into the city.
But who then initiates the conversation then? Because I see you see them, however, is there a delegation of sort to say that, okay, cool, I've got this idea, I've got this vision, and these are the people that we as the municipality have identified to put into places in order to implement this vision that I have. Are there people of sorts that you're speaking to around that?
Definitely. In my coming to this city, I said, guys, our city is geographically strategically placed, and therefore we need to create an environment that is responsive to what I see in the city.
Okay.
So firstly, our economic development, local economic development unit need to be a fully-fledged unit.
Okay.
So that you are responsive to this economic commodity.
Yes.
You have 5 coal-powered stations.
Okay.
You are talking of issues of climate change. You have 5 coal-powered stations, which you are not talking of what then climate change and its impact and its opportunities come into the city of Emalahleni. While we are looking only at the 5 coal-powered stations, which is on the coal fossil commodity as an economy. But you've got a parallel economy towards coal fossil economy that you can look up to
Okay.
for the people of the city to participate.
Actually, which is really, really true. Which is
And
really, really true.
If you don't have a municipality that is structured in a manner that is responsive to all these economic commodities, you'll find investors coming in, building in, putting infrastructure, taking money, go out. As we speak, abantu basemalahleni, they are shopping in Gauteng.
Well, but there's limitations of where to shop here in Witbank though.
Why is the city not growing so that it keeps its revenue within the city?
True.
You need
That's not.
a deep thinker to say, how do we then make sure that macro is here?
So it circulates within
so
our
that
city.
people go
You're
out
right.
of their Benfleur, Rhino Ridge, Eiffel Park, Bankenfeld, and go to Matron, go back to their houses. You keep your economy around here.
Job creation too.
You see, job creations too. You see, food lovers market, we need it here. You are in an epoch of environmental change. What are the investors coming to the city of Emalahleni doing? Are they here only to decommission the mine, or are they here to invest so that we create more of these technologies that must respond to climate change and have our young people taking opportunity to that?
Absolutely.
Which we do not. And all these things are happening at an environment of the municipality, which the municipality must create such conducive environment to say, we are here, we are ready for investment, come down. What millions are you bringing here? What $1 million are you bringing? What £1 million are you bringing here? So that we create such industrialization. We take our children for schooling. We take our people that still can be able to go to work for reskilling, so that we participate to the. There is a new technology in agriculture.
Okay.
Are we there as a city with our own children that must participate into this new agricultural technology that exists? We are not there. And the city, the structure of municipality, it must be responsive to those things, which it has not. So in the past 6 months, I've been grappling with management to say, understand the vision. The vision is not about me. It's about the people of Emalahleni to get back to economic activity.
And also to curb poverty as well.
To curb poverty, to create employment, to reach the gap of inequality, for people to be able to come back and pay services.
Oh, that is so true. That is so true. Obviously, before we continue, we do need to take another ad break. It's almost 30 minutes. Goes by quickly, doesn't it? We'll be back shortly on an ad break. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to RINGE podcast. Kamala Mukanya with the next and not with the name, the coolest kid, and we're still obviously hanging out with Leah Mabuza, the executive mayor of Emalahleni Municipality. Super excited for this one, and I'm sure you will be too. We'll be back shortly. Achoo. And Kamala Mukanya with the next and now with the name, the coolest kid, and we are still obviously hanging out with the mayor of this beautiful city, Coal City, the city of Emalahleni Khona. Now guess but obviously now what we're going to speak about is the beauty of this city, right? The change that is expected to happen within the city.
to which obviously I believe your time frame would depict that exactly. What legacy is it that you would like to sort of leave? Yes, you spoke of, obviously, before the ad break, you spoke of the changes, the vision, right? And I'd like to understand that somewhat part of the legacy that you're trying to live in your presence within the city.
I would love to have lived this city probably after the administration has came to an end.
Okay.
At least to have a solar plant.
Okay.
A solar plant that speaks to young generation that must operate that solar plant.
Big business, huh?
Big business indeed. I would love to see Puma Stadium of Emalahleni being probably co-owned, if not co-used, with a PSL standard match, because that I can tell you, it will revive economy of the
But it needs serious revamping, because I mean, if we look at the
Don't
state of
worry
that
about
now,
that. We will expose the plan in due course. The plan are in place. Yes, we will announce. We'll call you and say, this is what we are going to do in no time.
That's exciting.
In no time. I would love that
I'll give
this
it
city.
12 months maybe.
12 months is too long. Just wait, Kanye, you will see. We will be announcing, we'll be jovious, we'll be, because the plan are in place. Making
beautiful.
sure that we have a PSL standard stadium and the PSL team
Yes.
in Emalahleni. That's the legacy I would like to live. I would like to see the city growing in terms of industrialization, because we've got Tswenopilu, we've got Corridor Hill, which are open spaces that were inviting investment to come into the city of Emalahleni, which a number of companies have already shown investment into the city of Emalahleni to come in, which also that will unveil it. Come the state of the municipal address, but in due course we'll also be launching all these things. I would love to leave a legacy of a fully fledged local economic development unit into the city of Emalahleni. That will have to speak to the SLPs of the mines, to the CSIs, to the private sector, to the industrial companies. I would love to leave a legacy of industrial hub into the city of Emalahleni, where we'll have our young children put into there. We want to have another Highveld Industrial Park at Ferroman, at Ferrobank, at Clarinet. Those are the areas identified for another industrial hubs. Therefore, these are the things that I'm saying. They are doable. And our people must explore into that so that they grow their business, they also skills themselves, they reskill for them to participate economically into the development that is coming into the city. And of course, provincial development is keen to bring a tertiary institution into the city of Emalahleni, which we will go out and look for a private company that will want to build a faculty of medicine into the city of Emalahleni. That will be linked with the tertiary institution. So these things are things that must happen. It's not that it's a wish or I think it must happen.
And what is currently happening right now? What are the projects that people don't know of you, of which you have started, obviously within the interim of you being mayor?
We have managed to sign an MOU with the company that is going to build Macro. Macro, they will be starting in January for us turning into the Corridor Hill. We have managed to sign a final MOU and approval with the group, the one that is leading the fruit and veg. They will be building a food lovers market there. We've got a council decision for one company that is going to build a solar plant that is worth 2.7 billion into the area of Noordgedacht. Noordgedacht is the area towards Chrome Drive. That solar plant is definitely coming. Those are the three that will be coming immediately on the new start of the year. And of course, we are saying all those companies that are 99 at Highveld, others are big enough to go out of Highveld as industrial hubs to be big companies. and therefore they must invest into the city of Emalahleni so that we continue to have these industrial parks and industrial hubs while others are getting out of there to be big companies.
And then, I mean, you speak so highly of these big things, right? That you are doing and expecting to do, obviously, within the next year. But what's that one fun thing about you that people don't really know? Yes. I mean, I was speaking to, just remind me who the lady is? Bonejo, yeah. She was telling me that you're very assertive, however, you tend to joke around too after everything is settled. Is this true?
It's true. I like laughing and I like to see people laughing. I like jokes and I like fun. I like driving. I like driving fast cars.
Oh, you have an adrenaline of sorts. Adrenaline junkie. Yeah.
I like Ford Mustang. I like Ford Mustang.
Is that?
Yeah, and Ubaba Lapeka Arafon.
Hey man.
And I like Ford Mustang with all my heart.
But when it's in the garage and it's parked outside, I don't think he's gonna take it back.
No. No, he will not.
Yes.
I like Ford Mustang and that yeah, it brings an edge on me.
Okay.
But in cool driving, I like Benz.
Ah, the luxury of it too, huh?
That's my car.
Okay.
But Ford Mustang is the one that kicks my adrenaline.
And are you into traveling maybe? Not so much.
Not so much because I want to remain with my people. I don't want to be not founded.
But I mean, you need to see the Maldives of sorts at some point, huh?
At some point, but for now I'm here. I want to see really
So that's a
the real lighting to the city of Emalahleni. I will go to Maldives at some point, but for now I'm here. I'm not going here, and I've indicated I've been to Emalahleni radio to indicate that I'm in the city, I'm around. People should not be frustrated to say where we're going to get the executive mayor. I'm on the same number. My number, by the way, is as old, I don't know, as who in this room. It's a 2003 number. I've never changed it.
Wow, okay.
And it's my same number. That is why I have a lot of contact on it because they know.
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking 3,000. How did you get to that so quickly?
Yeah, so it's my old number. So people should not be worried. They will find me. They will put an SMS. They will put a WhatsApp. We'll definitely respond so that we keep people happy. Most of all, Kanyo, is that this city must have stability.
Yeah,
there must be peace. Because if there's no stability, there is no investment.
True that.
Therefore, there should be stability so that we attract investment. And there is lots. There is one company that was just giving me goosebumps and saying, do you know, Mayor, that we can twine Emalahleni with the Mayor of Dubai? And I said, you're joking. I said, yes, we can do that. Provided you allow us to give you what we want to bring to Emalahleni. So we're talking of serious people who say we can bring Dubai to Emalahleni.
Hey man, I mean...
So it's only God's grace that has put us up to
that
this
will shock everybody, yeah.
And indeed, it's God's grace that is going to put us into that because indeed, that day, where we'll have the mayor of Dubai in Emalahleni.
I'd love to see that day happen soon. But Mam Leah, before we obviously let you go, Raphenyo, please, do you...
Yeah, I think from my end, you mentioned something that there are a lot of people who are looking for you. And I think for you to avail yourself to talk to young people about who you are and what you are doing, and to come back to your office and find it all upside down, and you didn't even say what happened to my office. You just allowed us to be in your space. Thank you very much. You haven't had the last of us yet. We really want to support your programs and all those things because it's Dubai we're talking about. So thank you so much for the opportunity to talk to you. Now we know you can sing. We know your love for Mustangs. We know that you're an easy driver for a Mercedes.
Not so much on the traveling, however,
Yeah, so
soon.
she's around. So I think thank you so much for having us. We appreciate it, and yeah, I think you're just we're just waiting for the book to be released, and then we want to line up for the signing of the book, and we hear what you really want to tell us. So thank you for having us, Mom.
And before we let you go, Mam Leah, yes, now we're in festive season, right? We're closing off 2023. Yes, your projects have been going obviously for the year. New projects are yet to start. But for this period right now, obviously understanding everything is amplified. The crime, the grooves, the people at home. What message do you perhaps have for the youth and the young people of Emalahleni for this festive season?
Thank you so much, Penny, for that question. Just want to talk to young people. They must not live as if there is no tomorrow. It's nice, it's good to have fun. We've been young, we had fun, but there is tomorrow. And that tomorrow is determined by the actions of today. At times, our young people feels like they will do everything and anything today and forget that what you do today will catch up with you tomorrow. However, those that are in destitute, those that don't know what is going to happen tomorrow, their life should not be determined by what is happening today.
Beautiful.
They have a beautiful future. They should look up to that. I never got to be a lawyer, but I'm an executive mayor. At times you set your own dreams, and there is a way to reaching out to your dreams. At times you want to be a professional to do what certain things, and at times there is a journey that you must undertake for you to arrive to actually what you want to be.
Absolutely.
And for me being here, it's quite fulfilling because at all time I want to be the servant. I wanted to be the servant of the people. I wanted to represent people. And in either way,
even if it's not in the courts, it's doing it by the masses
the very
now.
same people. I am advocating for those people. I am representing those people. And I'm saying to them, all is not lost. Don't look at other person and think that if she or he has arrived, you will not arrive. You will arrive. There is too many ways for you to arrive. But choose a proper way. Choose a quality way for you to arrive where you want to be. You determine your destination. And if you don't determine your destination, you will land somewhere where you never wanted to find yourself in. So take this opportunity of free education. Take this opportunity of empowerment and empower yourself. Whether it's in business, whether it's in development, skills development, whether it's in education, take this opportunity because it will pay off.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Mayor, thank you so much. Team, do you want to say something? How are we sitting next to the mayor? And this opportunity only comes
me, I'm just appreciative of the wise words. I didn't expect we were going to go down this path. In fact, I learned more relating to my story when I heard your story. Mostly it goes back to what you were saying now at the end, which not all hope is lost. Sometimes we may see the couple of obstacles that are in our way as the youth, but hearing your story actually motivates me even more. Knowing someday now, you know, you are once an ordinary citizen just like everyone else, it motivates me so much more, especially because of your accolades today of where you are. So yeah, nothing but motivation from my end, and would like to say thank you very much for that. Also, your humility, and especially emphasizing that's what you prefer. I would like to appreciate you for that, and please, please let it stay like that. Other than that, thank you for the motivation, and yes.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Kanye. Thank you for having me.
Ma, I think one of the things that I do need to obviously say openly is how grateful we are. Obviously, like I said earlier before we started this episode, with allowing us to sit down with you and share the story with the people of Emalahleni, because we feel it's very important for them to hear, as well as understand where we are going, especially from your mouth, you know, and from your vision and from your perspective, because we might see it differently from the community perspective. However, from a person that's leadership, from who's leading it, there's far greater ideas and far greater visions that you'd obviously love to implement within our city. And I'd like to obviously say again, thank you so much. Thank you. I'd like to obviously wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, obviously leading into the new year, and all the best with obviously all the projects that you are destined to achieve for the next year. Thank you for allowing us to be here.
Thank you so much, Paul. Thank you, and Merry Christmas to the people of the city of Emalahleni.
Yes.
And all the viewers of the podcast. We love you so much, guys.
You can tell them to subscribe.
Please subscribe,
That one.
Please subscribe, guys. Yeah, I'm a motivator, I'm a self-motivator, and of course I have some surroundings that definitely at times motivates me, but let 2024 be a good year for you. Even if right now you might seem everything is doom and dull, just uplift yourself, uplift your positive spirit, and definitely things will come your way. We wish you all the best, and may the good Lord bless you and bless you, Penyo, the team, Kanyo, team, please do good for our young people. You are role models.
Thank you.
And there are a lot of young people who are looking up to us. So let's make sure that we stay on the right way.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
So much.
And on that note, this is how we close it off. Kamala Mukanya with the next, and this is us doing a podcast sitting with the mayor of Emalahleni, and this is how we say bye-bye for 2023. So I'm gonna next year.
Good to go.
Thank you.